Hey everyone, welcome to this thrilling comedy episode. No subway, no pipes, just a deep pit and confused people. Suddenly, countless fissures crack open on the ground. It seemed a monster was rising from underground, with spectators hastily scattering like the Flash, while police evacuated and cracks kept spreading. Cars by the roadside lifted, like on an invisible ride. Store windows vibrated like at a disco. Churches danced with the shaking ground. The ground slowly rotated, preparing an earth turn, then collapsed as if a giant beast breathed. Hailstones quickly formed, and the onlookers panicked and scattered, but still, they just couldn't resist hiding behind cars for better. But soon, they realized how foolish they were. Tom Cruise was right there too, just hiding out in this danger zone. What a stubborn guy. Suddenly, a three-legged machine appeared, turning the ground into a monster show. But even then, the spectators' curiosity totally overpowered this, until they saw the pit rise, revealing that it was an alien spacecraft. The spectators gasped. The power of technology is truly astonishing. From a distance, the spacecraft looked like a giant dung beetle on stilts. What a visual feast. The onlookers poked their heads out again, and predictably enough, an accident was bound to happen. Their curiosity was literally deadly. A long gasping sound echoed, as if the aliens were about to throw a party, combining physical and magical strikes, and the audience was suddenly tense. If they got stuck, they would disintegrate into ashes, and the city's buildings felt like they were cursed. Just the sight was chilling. Thanks to his excellent footwork, Tom narrowly escaped and returned home covered in dust, looking like an adventurer fresh out of a mud pit. His kids rushed over asking what happened, and that's when Tom realized he looked terrible. He dashed to the bathroom to scrub off the dirt. With no time for explanations, he told the kids to gather their things and pulled out a hidden box from under the bed, preparing to arm himself. At this moment, escaping the city was the wise thing to do, and Tom quickly led the kids to the repair shop. They sat in the only fixed car, and the boss thought Tom was joking and didn't pay attention, but Becky was terrified and started to cry. As soon as Becky saw the horrifying sight behind, she gasped and covered her mouth. Tom had no time to explain and hit the gas to drive away. Tom ordered the kids to duck, slammed the gas, as the world behind crumbled, speechless. Clearly, Tom ignored it. Ahead on the highway, a stampede of fugitives. His little car was the only one in motion, and in this apocalyptic scenario, the aliens were nowhere near as terrifying as humanity. Soon, they arrived in the neighboring city, casually finding a mansion. Aliens hadn't arrived, and appliances barely worked. However, there was still no signal on the phone, so Tom decided to take a rest for the night before moving on, though he was still uneasy. A wise choice, and Tom finally relaxed. He leaned back on the sofa and instantly fell asleep. In the middle of the night, the trio was startled by thunder, accompanied by howling winds and explosions, like a raging wildfire. Realizing the gravity of the situation, they quickly hid in the secret compartment of the basement, just as they were met with deafening blasts. When dawn broke the next day, Tom cautiously opened the door to find the interior in ruins, looking as if it had been run over by a tank. Half of the house was gone, replaced by a burning airplane engine. What a spectacle! Wreckage was scattered everywhere, clearly from a passenger plane, and the occupants seemed to have evaporated, leaving only shredded clothing behind. Amidst the ruins, Tom spotted two survivors, who, after a brief chat, revealed they were from a media outlet. The female reporter showed him black and white footage depicting three-legged robots rampaging through the city, lasers everywhere, turning everything into ruins. These three-legged robots had been lying in wait underground for over 1,000,000 years. Aliens had clearly come well prepared. This mission was bad news for humanity, but Tom was solely focused on protecting his kids. While Tom was on the run, let me ask you all a question. Are you looking for love? Why not try this personalized dating app that helped you find exactly the type of person you're looking for? It prioritizes recommending girls who are interested in you, so the success rate must be pretty high. The link is in the comments. Go check it out. You might just dodge those aliens. In desperation, Becky needed to relieve herself, and Tom told her to do it nearby. But Becky wouldn't listen, and soon regretted it as a horror show of bodies drifted by, leaving the little girl frozen in shock. More bodies appeared like a tide, leaving the little girl speechless in terror. Just in time, Tom scooped Becky up, but before he knew it, as his daughter was calmed, his son dashed toward an armored vehicle. Robbie waved frantically, trying to flag down a military vehicle, only to be met with the brush of insults. Tom rushed over to intervene. Robbie was frantic. The father-son relationship was already strained, and now they faced alien threats. Robbie aimed to join the military and fight aliens, while Tom wanted to shield his child from harm. After a brief argument, the tension eased between father and son, but their escape journey continued. By evening, they finally reached the city outskirts, only to find a sea of people fleeing. Because of the aliens' unique tactics, everyone had to walk, making Tom's car immediately a center of attention. The car was surrounded, and everyone clamored to get in. Tom could only roll up his windows and focus on driving. Watching the scene, the crowd outside grew incensed, beginning to pound on the car windows. The refugees swarmed the car frantically, dragging the father and son out in a chaotic melee.